What happens when power intoxicates? What do you see people do when they have attained the highest climax, when they have attained the peak of whatever form of power they think they can ever have? What do you see them do constantly? There is a lot of manipulation, there is a lot of control, authority, trying to show superiority, like I am better than you, I have the best power, I have the most power, a lot of things. And this kind of things always often result in poor decision making. They don't even have any form of sympathy or empathy to people, to what people are going through. Yes, they know you are going through this and that, but there is no remorse, there is no emotions whatsoever attached. Today we're looking at when power intoxicates. When power intoxicates. Hi, good morning. This is today's live on Equa Television International. We're happy to have you join us for our discussions today. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. You can drop your comment, your perspective and views based on what we're going to talk about, which is when power intoxicates. I have with me on the set today Solomon Sambo. Good morning. Joyce Jakada, good morning. Prudence Burga, good morning. How you doing? How's your weekend? Okay. No, I meant everyone. Oh, great. Great. Yes, so today we're talking about work. And like I said earlier on, when power intoxicates, you see people in power. You see people that you were relating really well together, and all of a sudden, they attain a certain kind of power and you no longer know these people altogether. So we're talking about when power intoxicates. And as a way of starting, I would like to ask, like, what does it really mean for power to intoxicate someone? Like, what does it mean? Before we even get to how they react and why they do whatsoever it is they do, what does it mean when power intoxicates a person?
Samuel has been emotional even before this show. Well, I see. You see, power has a way of intoxicating people that wield it. I mean, a lot of times, people end up acting in ways that they never even imagined that they would ever do because of the influence that they actually have. And what does it mean for power to intoxicate somebody? It means allowing the position you occupy to take absolute control of you. When you see the position that you occupy as a privilege and not a call to responsibility, you end up being intoxicated by power. So that's why I said that power has a way of intoxicating people that actually hold it. And that is why at the end of the day, you see people acting. Sometimes you hear somebody say, how can I be a governor and I'm behaving this way? Since I have these machineries, I should be influencing changes and doing this. Since I'm the head of this department, if I was the head of this department with all of this in my disposal, I will do this, I will do that. Before they got to the position, now they are the position. It has intoxicated them. They are no longer thinking the way they were thinking. They allow the position. They see the position as a privilege that they can just take advantage of. You talk about people not being empathetic, especially like people that are in position of power. I won't generalize because I've seen people that are truly humble, like they hold position, but they are humble to the core. They choose to embrace humility. But there are others that see it as an opportunity to trample upon other people. They take it as an advantage. They see every other person that they work with as tools rather than see them as individuals with emotions. So they tend to either manipulate, they tend to either want to use those persons. They tend to be arrogant because of how they perceive that particular position. You see, there's something about power. Once you get there, there's always that desire for more. And in a bid to want more, you also want to be up and above every other person. Anybody that you see as threat, you want to oppress such persons. So for me, I just see it as people taking undue advantage of privileges to manipulate, to be arrogant, and to see themselves up and above every other person.
Great.
Using the office to do otherwise. Like not really doing what the office stipulates. The reason why that office is being created, you are doing the other way. That's what it means. Because you are in a place whereby you're supposed to look after for the growth of the organization or the growth of the state or whatever the position, and then look after the welfare of whoever is handling or making the organization or the state works. Now you're being self-centered. You think about yourself. You see it as a tool. That is when abuse of authority comes in. You have the power. Yes, it's there. But this time around, you are using the power at your disposal now to manipulate, like she said, to maltreat others, to disregard whatever that is coming from them. You become the ultimate. Whatever you said, that's just it. So, in this kind of situation, you find out that everything revolves around them. Because as far as they are concerned, they have the power. So anything someone will say, it doesn't matter. What they say, what they think is final.
Great. All right. So I'm going to start off this way, right? We talk about the word intoxication, and you look at how a lot of times when they say someone is under the influence of drugs or alcohol, however it is, it's like the person sees only through the lenses of that thing that is making him high at that moment. That thing that is he's literally just seeing through the lenses of the alcohol or the drugs at that moment, right? So it applies to power in the same way. So this person is only seeing through the lenses of the power that he wields, the power that she wields. And because you're only seeing through those lenses, you would, more times than not, make very terrible decisions, because the only thing is you're saying is that, oh well, I do have that power and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm the one wielding this power. So at that moment, you're intoxicated. You cannot see anything past the power that you're holding. I think it was on this set last week that we mentioned how some people in power in our government today in the Nigerian political sphere, you would find that they cannot see beyond the fact that they are governors or they're senators at this moment. And so I'm ready for these 8 years. They can't even see that the 8 years will elapse. Right now, they're only seeing that the power that they are wielding. That's intoxication of power. And because of that, they will do things, and because they know they will get away with it, they will do it. Because I wield this much power. It's like a president of the nation. Because I have a personal beef or a personal rift with this guy, I'll just off the guy, I'll just take the guy out, and nothing is going to happen to me well, because I've covered my tracks well. I wield that much power. That's just it. You are not seeing anything beyond the power that you're wielding right now. That's power intoxication for me. And you find that a lot in the offices where I really don't understand. It's like some people think that they automatically own the organization since they have certain power within the organization. Let's say you're the MD, for instance, or you're the head of HR, and you can just fire anybody at any moment because you're head of HR, right? I have power. And it's like you don't even think that there's possibility of audit coming into this case and saying this person has not been doing his work right, let's get him out of here. you don't even look at things like that. At the moment, I'm only saying that I'm HR, I have that power, I have that my words are just final at this moment, so I can just do and undo, and nobody's going to question me. And so a lot of times you find that in the work sphere, and because of that, it automatically affects productivity in the work environment. And at the end of the day, what you are supposed to do, you won't do it, and what you're not supposed to do is what you would find yourself always doing.
I like the emphasis on intoxicating. Like, that's why earlier on I also said that power is intoxicating, especially for the people that wield it. You see, there's this popular phrase, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And this is by Lord Acton. He highlighted this reality of power when power intoxicates. You see, individuals that are either in politics, in business, even in personal relationship, like when you are in these areas and you get drunk by the position you occupy, or by the power that you have, you end up manipulating, you end up being arrogant, you end up feeling I'm invincible, like nothing can actually happen to
entitled.
me. Yes, and all of that. Like look at the example that Prudence gave. Because of the position that you occupy, you feel I can do and undo in the work environment. Like you are characterized by your words and speech are characterized by threats, arrogance, like lack of empathy, like no emotional intelligence. You can easily tell people that are intoxicated by power. When they speak, you can tell that this person does not look beyond, he does not speak beyond the position that he or she occupies. And that's why earlier on I said, see, when you look at position or power as a responsibility, not a privilege, then you will not allow it to intoxicate you. Like you will be about holding other people's hands. I saw a write-up recently about leaders, and it says that true leaders, they ensure they raise many leaders. But those that are not true leaders, what they do is they raise followers. Like they are so happy to find people following them, bootlicking, like so dependent on them. But a true leader wants to raise other leaders because he's looking at a lot of responsibility that you can handle, and works become easy. And that's why she talk about productivity. An organization or a business or a political sphere that you see that leaders are not intoxicated by power, you see growth. But in a situation where you have people that are like intoxicated by power, there's low productivity in such area. Now, like some of the example, you have political tyrannies. Most of these people started as transformers, but they got to a point that they felt, oh, I can actually do and undo. They allow the position, the power that they actually have to take absolute control of them. That's why they have become dictators rather than even transformers. We have CEOs that are so engulfed in corporate greed. Like life, everything should revolve around them. If they are not around, nothing happens. Like anything can happen only when they are actually present. So these are people that are like intoxicated by power. Like somebody said that, you see what one thing that power does, it reveals the true you. People just say, no, it's the influence of the office. This person was not like that. No, if like there's that thing in you, the power just like unraveled it. So like we have that not just in the workplace, but in businesses. We have people that are intoxicated by power. Like the way they talk to their staff, the way they talk to other people, you can just tell how arrogant like these they are. Like you can just tell that, oh, this person is just carried away by the position he occupies. Even in personal relationship, in friendship, in the family, you hold a certain position that because you feel I am head and above everybody, I instruct, I call the shot. Like that is their speech. I call the shot, everybody must follow. So that is somebody that is being intoxicated by power. Because if you are not, you rather try to have everybody around you, you will see the need to hear everybody's perspective. You see the need that in everyone there's greatness and there's something that this person can bring to the table. But a person that is intoxicated by power will tell you, I call the shot, any other opinion is bullshit. So it is important that Like we don't allow, if we really want growth, whether in our political sphere, whether in our businesses or in our personal relationship, it is important that we don't allow power. And that can only happen when you embrace humility, when you become empathetic. Like you cannot be seeing people as tools.
Yeah.
Like that is what people that are intoxicated by power do. They see people as tools rather than individuals with emotions. And that is why you will not care that somebody is sick. You will not care that somebody lost a loved one. All you care about is, I pay you and you need to deliver on this. So
Exactly.
that is intoxication by power. So it's just important that for growth, for productivity, like, you don't allow it. And it's also needful that you know that the position you occupy is just temporary. Like what I say, I don't know why people don't see beyond 3 years, beyond 4 years, beyond 8 years. This thing, you're not going to be there forever. I mean, so what will posterity remember you for? Before you were, they were other people. And then where are those people today? And then you too, you will not, like how some people say, baraka de wamaba. Like you will not be there forever. But people that are intoxicated by power, they don't look beyond the 8 years. They don't look beyond the 4 years. And that is why they allow themselves to be carried away. And later on, when you see them, they become object of pity.
And you see, power in itself is a good thing. It's such a good thing, but it's the way people handle it that determines if it becomes bad or not. And the larger percentage of people handle it wrongly, of course. And that is why we have chaos in the power sector as I speak. And when people come into power, you hear someone saying congratulations, and then you hear people say, no, you don't congratulate him now or her now until he or she is done with the work. And that is where seeing power as a responsibility that you talked about is not a privilege, it's not a luck. You didn't just stumble on it. It is a responsibility you're supposed to do for people. You're there now as a servant, but people take power as the master, as the overall king of kings. So when they come, they believe that, okay, they are going to be there forever. Their reign will never end. Like, so they want to do every negative thing. But why would people come into power and not think of, okay, how can I help? How can I better this? How can I move this forward? How can I? No, but it is always about the negativity. Like, why won't you see beyond the negative things that everybody has done and try to do the positive? Like, knowing that the end is already bad. You've not seen your end, but you've seen other people's end and how it was. So why don't you write it? Why don't you write the wrongs of others in your own tenor? But everybody feels, okay, she came and she did it bad because she's not wise enough. If I come, I am wiser than her. I will do it better and you will see my own end. And my end will even be worse than her. So really,
you know something that ego, sorry, you just asked why. I think part of the reason is ego inflation. Like, there's this sense of pride. There's this sense of superiority.
I'm better than everyone.
Yes. And that's why people don't look beyond the years. And that's why people don't see it as a responsibility. They don't even see it as a call to service. I mean, look at the life of Jesus. Like, it was characterized by service. Like, characterized by service. But today, people that find themselves in position of power, not like Jesus, that from childhood, like it was already placed on him. Like, look at the things I had. But yours is just, okay, come and serve for so day, or you are appointed, an appointment that can be terminated the next day. Do you understand? You are appointed, and then the moment you assume office, everybody's peace of mind have ceased. Like, you threaten people left, right, and center. People, the moment people are coming to the office, they are filled with bitterness. The moment people are doing business with you, they are filled with fear. The moment your party assumes power, people are filled with fear for tomorrow, for their future, and all of that. People just don't see it as a call to service. Their ego, their sense of superiority is what clouds their judgment and makes them feel, I'm even above the moral code. Have you not seen people in power that will set rules, laws, and they don't adhere to it?
Yes.
Or they come and meet laws and them, they are above it. But anybody that goes like above that laws or that moral code, like you'll be in for it. But them, they can do anything that they want to do. They call the shot, and that is what they tell you. So I think it's more about ego. That is why what makes people to actually get intoxicated by power. You're assuming office, like you are even told that you are even acting in this capacity, that even if being a director, for example, is in acting capacity. You appointed a permanent secretary. I say, I will hide everybody's file. I would deal, hey, that person that I would deal, like it's, some of them see it as an opportunity to deal with people, to do certain forms of wickedness without, and that is why some of them, when they go down, like after those tenors, like even from the gates, the security people will not even want to open the gate, because I mean, people will be like, let's just manage. Is it not the matter of 1-2 years? Like this person will go now, and then you go, you are calling your staff, you are calling somebody that used to be, and then they are not even picking your call. And I think another reason why people are intoxicated by power is lack of accountability. When you are surrounded by yes sir kind of people. Remember, I think it was on National Talk, we were discussing about the 9th Assembly, and the guest was like, it was actually largely characterized by yes sir kind of like the 9th Assembly. And anything that comes is signed, anything, you don't interrogate, you don't do anything.
There's no questioning.
So when people are in power and then there's no accountability, they are not surrounded by people that check them, they are not surrounded by people that ask them questions, then they assume that up and above everybody. But when you are in check, when the system puts you in check, I mean, you can't fire like that. There are procedures to all of these. When the system say no, you can't suspend like that, there are procedures to this. It has a way of calming you down. So I think largely it's lack of accountability, ego inflation, like disregarding perspective. These are some of the reasons why people just get intoxicated by power.
And I'll quickly like to add on that for some people, it's actually the ideology, the notion that we have to what leadership exactly entails. A lot of us have misguided knowledge or information about leadership. I have had discussions with people and they have said something like, when we get to that place of position, that leadership role is what we say that you do. And so you're already going there with that mentality. What else do you expect if not power intoxicating you? So from the beginning, you don't even perceive that leadership, any role of leadership that is handed to you, is for you to be responsible to people. Why do you find certain people crying and weeping because they were given certain levels of responsibility? Because they understand the work that, like, the work that is there on the seat. But for some people, it's like jubilation, celebration, partying, and all that. And after the party, you're just saying, okay, so I have the. And funny enough, you would think that this is something that people have been fighting against for so long, but you would also find that certain people that are in certain levels of power would come and tell somebody else that is about to get into the position something like, if you go there, don't be a fool. Fetch as much as you can fetch. Gather what you can gather. Do what you need to do, because in the matter of this, it won't last. So why would we not be encouraging people that when you're getting there, okay, so this is it, you have a lot of work ahead of you, so do as much as possible to understand the position that you are in so that you would walk right. But you rarely ever hear people telling people this kind of things. It's like if you tell people this kind of thing, they would automatically put you in their black book. Also, you don't like my progress. You don't want to see me progressing. And when you tell someone that that's not the approach you should approach leadership with, they'll tell you, are you the person in power or am I the person in power? So these are questions that you've heard people say.
It almost speaks to lack of knowledge. It also speaks to lack of exposure. You can easily tell who is truly a leader and who is not.
Exactly.
Even from their speech, even from their communication, from their action. Some might communicate well, might have the talks, but the action is actually
Terrible.
contradicting like what they. So I think it's also important that people expose themselves to training, and that's why there are certain organizations that go into leadership training. Once you are appointed into leadership position, you are expected to go through some level of training on leadership, and there are some that the requirement for even your appointment, you must undergo certain level of training. You must be exposed to like certain knowledge so that it will guide you in that leadership, because like a lot of people come with that wrong mentality that, oh, it's an opportunity for me to call the shot. Now I'm going to be having convoy working with me. I can sack this person, I can employ this person, I can do this. So they are not even thinking of growth, they are not even thinking of productivity. All what they are thinking of now, it's my own time to cross my leg on the chair and then call the shot, do and undo. But if you are exposed to the right knowledge, you already know that, okay, this is what leadership is actually about. That I know certain people that are engaged in leadership training. And when you follow such people and hear their teaching, you can tell that people that have that wrong mentality, that leadership is about being authoritative, is about calling the shots, feeling of superiority, that mentality will be changed. Because like you'll be made to understand with examples, leadership is about service. And like Prudence said, that's why a lot of people, when the opportunity presents itself, they will say no. They refuse it. They say no. Why? Because they feel, I'm not prepared, I'm not ready to serve. They see it as a responsibility. But for a person that just see it as an opportunity, as a privilege, I heard people do some form of speech after being appointed. I count this as a privilege. Why? Because the impression is that, oh, I am above all of these persons. So I count it a privilege to be above all of you. But the thing is that your appointment is a call to serve these people. So if you know that it is about service, I don't think a lot of things that people do, they would do it. If they actually know what leadership is about and they are sticking to it, you will have to think well before you even go to contest for any position. But people are thinking of what to go and take. And that's why people fight, people kill. Because like we live in a world that a lot of people are intoxicated by power. Wait for 2027 and see what will happen. People have died in 2023 because people see them as threat to their position.
That's what I was going to say next, right? A lot of times, because we have a very terrible notion of what leadership is, when you find that there's someone being respected under your constituency, someone that you can seek advice from, someone that can aid your growth in your leadership, you would automatically make that person your enemy. And you find that a lot, especially within the... Okay, I'm going to talk a lot about church circle because that's where I'm most familiar with. You find that a lot within the church circle. You will find that in the band, this one is made the leader, but because everybody in the band respects, let's say, Solomon is made the leader, and because everybody in the band respects Joyce, Joyce becomes Solomon's enemy automatically. And they would, instead of actually fighting the ills that are going on within the band, they would not even look at those things. Those no longer become issues. They would now be looking at how exactly am I going to tarnish Joyce's image, that people would stop seeing Joyce as respectable. So at the end of the day, you don't even know that you're tearing your leadership by your own self. What in our own language we say, you pour sansan in your own gari, you are doing it by yourself. Nobody is helping you tear down your leadership. You're doing it by your own self because you're too focused on your predecessor or on someone who is there to just be a guide, because this person has words of advice and encouragement for you. And you automatically make that person your enemy. You would find, I've heard stories of one pastor leaving this place and another one coming, and he's just trying to tarnish that, oh, the other pastor did not do well. I'm now the one that is going to do the right thing. And so you have that mentality and you're trying as much as possible to drag other people down. You will drag yourself along with them. And that's one thing that we fail to understand when you're going into leadership. I would say that is exactly what power intoxication does to you. See, for instance, right? The elections that went on 2023 in Nigeria. One governor came and he said, "Oh, you need to take your opponents to the courts and all that." Your predecessor to court and ask him questions, and his question back to the people who is that, if I take him back to court, am I not wasting the state's resources at this moment? Because definitely this person would have put his guard up, because I know that it's about time that so at the end of the day, he's wasting resources rather than actually addressing the issues that are happening right now. And so you would find that a lot of people are misguided because they are too focused on their opponents, and they are too focused, sometimes don't even know their opponents. And they are too focused on opponents and predecessors. But that's not how leadership should go. It should be focused on the people that are under you right now. What are their needs? What are you seeing for them long term and not short term, and all that. Focus on the position that you have been put in. What exactly does it entail? And that's the only way to curtail yourself from having power intoxication. It's like going to a bar and taking a glass of alcohol and moving out of the bar because there's no need for you to take more. That's just it.
And you see, sometimes, when you're talking, I'm just thinking, because I have the trust to listen to people, randomly, people discussing. Is either you are passing and then you hear them, talking about certain things that is happening either in their organization, and you begin to hear their own view, and you begin to hear their frustration, and you begin to hear what these people are going through day in, day out, in the name of their doing their own work. Look at it, that some people follow the ladder and grow to wherever they are, because certain organization is being allowed that you just have to grow from the bottom to the top. That's when you grow till you reach a deputy director, PAMSEC, and the rest. But during the process of them going up, what they went through, that's what influenced whatever they want to do with that particular power. He will tell you, all this while I passed through 8 directors, and this is what I went through. And I'm just praying, let me just get there. Once I get there, then the same thing that happened to me, that is what I will apply. Forgetting that, you see, any power given to you or any opportunity being given to you to lead is an opportunity for you to serve. Some people see it as an opportunity for them to retaliate. You see the difference? Now somebody is saying, while Prudence was there, this is what I went through. While Jemima was there, this is what I went through. But now that I'm here, at least I have a first-hand information and how it felt for someone to be in this position and feel this way. For that singular reason, I think things should be changed. Things should be done differently. What is the office saying concerning this? Can we do things right? So some people don't even think that way, because we always think, most times we think of retaliation. That is why if you are contesting with somebody, the only prayer that you hear somebody is saying, let me just get to the office and I will deal with this person. He thought that he will be my opponent. He will stop me from getting to this office. And that's why you will see people will even contest in politics. Will contest. And they will be given the power. For instance, I contest with somebody in a different party, and I've given and I was opportune to win. And then, because particular local government didn't vote me, and I will decide not to work for them. Hello? Like, is that what the Constitution says? So that stopped them from being citizens of that particular country or particular state. And then you say, because this state did not vote me, so I will not send a federal project there. This local government did not vote me. So for that, the period of 4 years or 8 years that I will do in office, they will not see anything. You will hear them saying, and you hear something like, did they vote me? Susan Binini?
They didn't vote me. So
Do you
why should I
understand?
stress myself?
So you will just look at it and know that when you hear leaders talk, you will know that they are not really informed or they are being deliberate. They are just being deliberate. What I want to do, I know is evil, but I've made up my mind. This is what I will do. I don't care. And you see, when you talk about 4 years, people think it's temporal. You mentioned it's just temporal, whatever. Like, it can be 8 years, it can be 4 years, it can be 10 years, but it's temporal. For him, it's only you that knows that one. He doesn't care. Even if it's 1 year, let him do that which is in his heart. Let him satisfy that his ego, that is intention. That's just what he's after. If you are saying, tomorrow, go before Akwe Sharia, like there is judgment tomorrow, he said, well, fine, let's meet there. It's better. Somebody said that it's better for him to meet the judgment up there than him to be dragged by his opponent here on earth. Like,
I don't know. I just,
And you see,
oh no.
we have been able to bring out the fact that power intoxication is totally negative. And if you're not careful, even if you want to make it right, it will always be tilting towards negativity because it seems to be the map. It seems to be the footprint for everything. And so we have been able to bring out why this power intoxicates. Then how do we come out of it? How do we bring solutions out of it? How can we make power, I won't totally say not intoxicating, but how do we make it less intoxicating? Because the more you keep reducing, eventually you get to where you are. If there is a drunkard and he wants to stop drinking, if normally he was taking 10 bottles, they begin to say, okay, can you take 9 today? Tomorrow, can you take 8? Next tomorrow, can you take 7? And before you know it, he's taking less than 1 bottle and totally he's not taking it at all. So how do we really bring about less intoxication in this whole power?
I think beyond bringing less, is something that can be totally erased. Like, what are the things that make people become intoxicated by power? We establish his mindset. It's just mindset. Can you change that mindset? You are seeing it as a privilege. You are seeing it as an opportunity to be a dictator. It starts from the mind. Can you change that mindset? And it's powered by pride. It's powered by arrogance. So if you change, you can easily do away with power intoxication. One, for me, I think, embrace humility. I have seen leaders, I have seen people in position, and when I heard them speak, I was really humbled. Like, there are people that I've heard about when I met them in person. Like, sometimes I had to come back and talk to other people. Like, this person is this humble, despite the height that he or she has attained. Like, you will see that, okay, I think one of the person is a serving board member of one of ECWA's department. This person works in Central Bank and he holds a very top position in that place. Yet in his church, he's an usher. I remember that on one of our programs in ECWA TV, we went to CBN office to interview this person. I mean, before getting to the person's office and on getting to I was wowed. Only for me, the same year, to move to go to Abuja for a program, I saw this person cleaning chairs. He's also in choir in the church. Embrace humility. When you embrace humility, like, you will not be intoxicated by power. When you see it as a call to serve, there's no way you'll be intoxicated. I mean, instead, if you say, you'll be looking forward to when, like, you are done and done well. You will not be seeing it that, okay, I'm now a boss. How can I be cleaning in the church? No. See leadership, see power as a call to service. See it as a responsibility. It will help you not to be. And then practice self-reflection. Sometimes you can get carried away by the privileges that the office like comes with. For example, you are just walking on the street as Sambo Solomon, and then you are appointed as maybe a governor, or let's say you are elected as a governor, and then you have official cars, you have SAs, you have this. Now, these things that come with some of this office can be intoxicating.
True.
Like, so you need to be mindful, and that's why I talk about practice self-reflection. If you work in an organization as a leader, sometimes reflect on your decisions, on the people that are working with you. How has my decision impacted their lives? These people have been with me or have worked with me for so number of years. Look at where they came from and where they are now. If you need to make some adjustment, please do it. And that you are a leader does not mean you should do away with ethical standards. You need to embrace ethical standards and morals. Like, when you adhere to that, imagine you set rules, or there are rules that have been outlined, you obey it. See, the people working with you have no reasons to break it. Like, I was reading about a former president, and how that he sacked his daughter from his firm. She came late. She was supposed to resume work. She was a veterinary student. I think his former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, he had a farm. And then his daughter was a veterinary student, and she was like an intern in his farm. So she was supposed to resume at 7 a.m. And that she came at past 7. And he warned her, this should be the last time you'll be here past 7. And then the next day she came, surprisingly past 7. He saw her. Some minutes past 7. From the gate, he sent her back, and that's how. So every other staff in that place, like, were like, wow, if Baba can do it to his daughter, who am I? So you have to uphold ethical standard. That it favors you, you keep quiet. It does not favor you, you will take action. You have clique. You work in an organization, or you are a leader in an organization, and you have clique. When somebody in your clique did it, you will remove your face from it, because this person is not in your clique. Punishable action will be taken against that person. If you do it yourself, it's not a problem. If a staff does it, is a problem. In relationship, you are the father. You think you have the right to do anything you want to do, but your children, your wife should not go against the rules that you have actually set. In friendship too, there are people that feel superior. I have the money, I call the shot. So it's just important that you practice self-reflection, embrace humility, uphold ethical standard. And when you do that, I think it's going to help you not to be intoxicated by power. I remember countless, like, I've worked with persons that are like, we're not in any way intoxicated by power. I mean, one of the person I worked with would call for a meeting, and he would tell us, his staff, that, see, in the next 5 years, I don't want to have any of you working with me. This is the reason. I expect you to grow beyond where you are now. I also want to look and say, this person was my staff, and look at where you are. So whatever it takes for me to empower you, whatever it takes for me to push you to be like, let this be your practicing, but whatever it takes for me, like, you can see humility in the life of this person. So I've also worked with people that, leaders that are like intoxicated by power, that they think life revolves around them, like they call the show, anything they say, like that. So, but of often, more than, like, most times, their end is always not good, and you can even tell the future for such persons. So it's just good that we know that power reveals the true identity of persons. We should also learn to embrace wisdom. Let's also, like, have integrity. Like, when we do that, I think power will, like, seeing yourself as, or see yourself in upholding position as a call to service, there's no room for even allowing power to intoxicate
in
you
the first
in the
place.
first place. Humility is key.
And another thing, we have to put humanity first.
Yeah.
Once you do that, I think it's difficult, like Joy said, for any power of any sort coming your way and make you intoxicated. I don't think it's possible, because you will see people that have humanity first. They know from the down to the top, they know how it feels, so they know how to treat people at a particular given time. They know that whatever we are having is just a matter of time. Even if, like, for instance, they will say, maybe you will not be there tomorrow, you will die. You understand? But let's just not talk about death first. Let's say that you will live and get old, and you will be seeing those things that already you have done, watching you, staring at you. How would you feel? So people that are not being intoxicated by power, they think about that quickly in their mind, because they are thinking, I may be old, sitting down in one swinging chair and then watching. Then my past will be haunting me. So for that, I just have to do the needful. And like we rightly said, if all we think in our life that power is to serve, then it will help you. It will curtail so many things, because once you know that you are serving, you know that even the privileges that you are thinking,
You will be empathetic, Sambo Solomon.
That's
You will see people as individuals with emotions. You will not see them as object or tools.
they told me, they gisted me yesterday about a pastor, that any church he pastored, he doesn't collect all this recharge card money, all these weekly whatever, and the rest, all through his whatever. He's still serving. They just told me that within 2 weeks, a family, not from the denomination, one called him and gave him a car, an SUV for that matter. He gave him, and then they said, we heard about all that you have been doing, the sacrifice, the leadership that you've been providing for the church wherever you go, and we just feel that we should appreciate you with this. God put it in our heart. So you see, this family, they are not even from his denomination, but you see how the talk spread, like the kind of leadership, the kind of humility in him. But you just see some people just gidan adua, prayer house, but everybody is just feeling like he's being choked. You understand? So it is very important for us to know, once you know that you are serving people, and there's a reason why you're serving people, because there's a reward, and then at the end of the day there is accountability. If you are thinking of accountability at the end, then definitely it will help us to do the right thing. And some people see, there's a monitor. Some people, like somebody said, he said they just appoint you as chairman of Agbero
association, and you have become something else.
And you become something else. What if they give you governor or chairman or something? So you just see. So it's just a mindset. And let's just have humanity at the back of our mind, and then that accountability mindset.
All right. So quickly, I'm just going to say that you also need to understand the assignment of the position that you're being placed in. It's very key to keeping yourself in check. If you fully understand what exactly I'm there to do, it helps to put you in place. And it's also important that you learn from the mistakes of others, you learn from the leadership of others, and you learn from the rights that others were able to accomplish. So keep your eyes and your ears to the ground, listening for all the best advices that would go. Walk with those that are learned, those that know what they're doing, those that know what you should be doing. Walk with them, listen to them. Don't just walk with sycophants. That's another thing that actually intoxicates. Sycophants will tell you, oh, you're doing well, you're doing great, you're doing awesome. And they would not call your attention to when you are erring. They would not call your attention to when you're doing things wrongly. So make sure that you are discerning. One thing about discerning is that you study and you're observant. And so even your spirit will begin to tell you when something is going wrong. So be a discerning person. It's very key in leadership. And that's the major way that you can be able to eradicate the whole issue of intoxication. Am I saying that it is possible to eradicate from everybody? Well, not really, because not everybody would accept to do this. But for you as a person, take it upon yourself that I will not be intoxicated by power.
Thank you. Thank you for the discussion, Solomon Sambo,
You're welcome.
Joyce Jakada, and Prudence Burga. Thank you for this great
Pleasure.
discussion. Totally, intoxication of power is something that has eaten deep into the hearts of many. People that would have been great leaders, that would leave indelible marks, have failed because of such intoxication of power. I hope that you were able to learn, and when you are there, you should be able to change your mind. Even if you have allowed power to intoxicate you in past times, you can retrace your steps and do right. Don't think I have gotten it wrong already, so I am doomed for life. No, you can retrace your steps and even do better, and you can have it at the back of your mind that I will do well. Start doing well even before power comes. Thank you for doing this with us. Until we come your way tomorrow, do have a great day. Bye.